Over 60 and eating 2 eggs for breakfast? The answer is not the same for every plate. 2 eggs beside spinach and whole grain toast are a different choice from 2 eggs beside bacon, buttered white toast, and a pastry. If your LDL cholesterol is healthy and the rest of your diet supports your heart, 2 may fit. If your LDL is high or you have diabetes or cardiovascular disease, the number needs to be personal. The useful question is not, are eggs good or bad? It is, do 2 eggs fit my risk, my plate, and my protein needs? That distinction matters because eggs have been trapped in a nutrition argument for decades. One side treats the yolk like a danger. The other treats eggs as a perfect food that no one needs to think about. Neither view is very helpful when you are standing in your kitchen deciding what to eat. So let's use a simple decision framework. There are 4 checks: your cholesterol and health history, the rest of your plate, what the eggs are helping you replace, and how safely you prepare them. By the end, you will know which details deserve attention and which internet warnings you can ignore. First, what are you actually getting from 2 eggs? 2 large eggs provide roughly 12 grams of high-quality protein. They also provide choline, vitamin B12, selenium, and the carotenoids lutein and zeaxanthin. Those are useful nutrients. Protein becomes especially important with age, because maintaining muscle usually takes more deliberate effort than it did at 30. Eggs are affordable, easy to chew, quick to prepare, and familiar. For someone with a modest appetite, those practical advantages count. But 2 eggs are not an entire protein plant. 12 grams can make a helpful contribution at breakfast, yet your muscles benefit from adequate protein across the day. Beans, fish, yogurt, poultry, tofu, milk, nuts, and other foods can all contribute. If poor appetite, weight loss, kidney disease, or difficulty chewing has changed how you eat, a clinician or dietitian can help set a target that fits you. More protein is not automatically better in every medical situation. The yolks also contain dietary cholesterol. That is where the conversation becomes more personal. Dietary cholesterol is the cholesterol in food. LDL cholesterol is a particle measured in your blood. They are related, but they are not the same thing. Your body makes cholesterol, and people vary in how strongly their blood cholesterol responds to cholesterol in food. Saturated fat can also raise LDL, and for many people the overall dietary pattern matters more than blaming a single ingredient. The American Heart Association Science Advisory reflects that nuance. It emphasizes healthy eating patterns, rather than one universal cholesterol number for everyone. It says healthy people can include up to 1 whole egg a day. It also notes that healthy older adults with healthy cholesterol levels may include up to 2 eggs a day within a heart-healthy pattern because eggs can be convenient and nutritious. The words around that number are important: healthy older adults, healthy cholesterol levels, and a heart-healthy pattern. Up to 2 is an allowance, not a prescription. It does not mean every person over 60 should add 2 yolks every morning. That gives us the first check. What is your current LDL, and what is your cardiovascular risk? If you do not know your LDL, look at your latest lipid panel or ask at your next routine visit. If your LDL is already elevated, if you have had a heart attack or stroke, if you have coronary artery disease, or if your clinician has given you a specific cholesterol goal, 2 yolks every day deserves a conversation. The same caution applies when diabetes or several risk factors are present, because the evidence in higher risk groups is less reassuring, and your target may need to be stricter. This does not turn eggs into forbidden food. It may change the pattern. You might have 1 whole egg with extra egg whites. You might eat 2 whole eggs on some days rather than every day. Or you may keep 2 eggs and reduce other major sources of saturated fat and dietary cholesterol after reviewing the whole diet. The best choice depends on your lab results, medicines, preferences, and what else you eat. Large observational studies help explain why you hear conflicting headlines. A 2020 BMJ analysis of 3 large United States cohorts, combined with an updated meta-analysis, found that moderate intake of up to 1 egg a day was not associated with cardiovascular disease overall. Other observational research has reported higher risk as dietary cholesterol or egg intake rises. These studies can reveal patterns, but they cannot perfectly separate eggs from the bacon, butter, refined grains, activity level, smoking, and health conditions that may travel with them. That is not a reason to dismiss research. It is a reason to avoid pretending that one headline settles your breakfast forever. Your own LDL response and risk profile are more actionable than a debate between 2 population averages. Now for the second check. What does the entire plate look like? Imagine 2 breakfasts. The first is 2 eggs with beans, tomatoes, spinach, a slice of whole grain toast and fruit. The second is 2 eggs with bacon, sausage, buttered white toast, and a large pastry. The eggs are identical. The dietary pattern is not. The first plate brings fiber, plants, and relatively little saturated fat. The second may be high in saturated fat, sodium, refined carbohydrate, and calories, depending on the portions. Those differences matter for LDL, blood pressure, blood sugar, and overall cardiovascular risk. The bacon does not magically cancel the nutrients in the eggs. Nutrition does not work like a bank account where one food erases another. The combined pattern simply creates a different risk profile. Pay particular attention to saturated fat. Butter, fatty processed meats, cream, and large amounts of cheese can quickly change an egg meal. If 2 eggs are your priority, cooking them in a small amount of liquid vegetable oil and serving them with vegetables, beans, or whole grains is one practical way to build a more heart-supportive plate. And no, ordinary seed oils are not inherently inflammatory. Oils such as canola, soybean, sunflower, or corn oil provide unsaturated fats. When unsaturated fats replace saturated fats, that change generally supports healthier LDL levels. Extra virgin olive oil is also an excellent option, but you do not need to fear a teaspoon of canola oil in your pan. The more useful move is to limit repeated deep frying and keep total portions sensible. Fiber deserves a place beside the eggs because eggs contain none. Vegetables, fruit, beans, oats, and whole grains help fill that gap. A vegetable omelet with whole grain toast is not beneficial because spinach neutralizes the yolk. It is beneficial because the meal now contains a broader mix of nutrients and fiber. If this framework is helping, subscribe. We turn confusing health headlines into practical choices for your 60s, 70s, and beyond. The third check is replacement. Ask, what would I eat if I did not have these eggs? If 2 eggs replace a sugary pastry or a large bowl of refined cereal that leaves you hungry an hour later, they may improve the meal's protein and staying power. If they are added on top of bacon, cheese, butter, and a full breakfast you already eat, they may simply add more calories, cholesterol, and saturated fat without solving a real need. Replacement thinking is one of the most useful tools in nutrition. A food's effect depends partly on what moves off the plate when it moves on. That is why the same 2 eggs can make sense for a person struggling to eat enough protein and make less sense as an automatic extra for someone whose LDL remains above target. Here is a quick green, yellow, and red way to apply the first 3 checks. Green means your LDL is in a healthy range. You have no known cardiovascular disease. Your clinician has not asked you to limit dietary cholesterol, and the eggs sit inside a pattern rich in vegetables, fruit, beans, whole grains, nuts, fish, and other lean protein sources. In that setting, 2 eggs may fit, especially if they help you eat a satisfying protein-rich breakfast. Yellow means you are unsure of your LDL, you have diabetes, multiple cardiovascular risk factors, or a family history that concerns your clinician. It can also mean the rest of the meal is usually heavy in bacon, sausage, butter, or cheese. Yellow is not panic. It means check the number, improve the plate, and ask whether 1 whole egg plus whites would meet the same need. Red means you have been given a specific LDL or dietary cholesterol limit. Your LDL remains high despite treatment. Or you have established cardiovascular disease and your care team wants tighter control. In that situation, do not use a general YouTube rule to override a personal treatment plan. Ask how whole eggs can fit, if at all, and whether egg whites are a better everyday tool. Notice what this traffic light does not say. It does not diagnose you, and it does not promise that 2 eggs will cause or prevent a heart attack. It helps you bring the right information to a decision. If you want to test whether a regular egg routine fits you, make the change visible rather than guessing. Keep the rest of breakfast reasonably consistent, note how often you eat whole eggs, and review the pattern at your next planned cholesterol check. A lipid panel can show whether LDL is moving in the desired direction. It cannot prove that eggs alone caused every change, but it gives you and your clinician better information than how healthy breakfast feels. Do not stop a statin or other prescribed treatment because you changed breakfast. Food and medicine are not opponents. For many people, they work together toward the same goal. If your LDL rises, the response may be fewer yolks, less saturated fat elsewhere, a broader dietary adjustment, or a treatment change decided with your clinician. If LDL stays at goal, that is still not permission to ignore the rest of the plate. There is also room for flexibility. The white contains most of the egg's protein and no dietary cholesterol, while the yolk carries the cholesterol along with many vitamins and other nutrients. 1 whole egg plus 2 whites can provide more protein than 2 whole eggs with less dietary cholesterol. It is not morally better, it is simply another tool. You can also alternate egg breakfasts with oatmeal and yogurt, beans on whole grain toast, or another protein-rich meal. Variety helps the whole pattern without inventing a rule that eating the same egg dish is somehow toxic. The fourth check is food safety, and it matters more with age. Adults 65 and older are more likely to become seriously ill from foodborne germs. Eggs can carry salmonella even when they look normal. In the United States, buy refrigerated eggs with clean, uncracked shells. Take them home promptly and keep them at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, about 4 degrees Celsius, or below. Store them in their carton in the main body of the refrigerator, not in the door where temperatures fluctuate. Once refrigerated, USDA guidance says not to leave eggs out for more than 2 hours. For the safest everyday choice, cook eggs until the whites and yolks are firm. Egg casseroles and other mixed egg dishes should reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit, or 71 degrees Celsius. If you enjoy a runny yolk, homemade mayonnaise, eggnog, or another recipe that is raw or undercooked, use pasteurized eggs or pasteurized egg products. That is especially sensible for older adults and anyone with a weakened immune system. Wash your hands, utensils, and work surface after contact with raw egg. Do not wash store-bought eggs at home. USDA warns that washing can increase the chance of contamination moving through the shell. Refrigerate cooked egg dishes promptly, and use refrigerated leftovers within 3 to 4 days. Hard-cooked eggs can be refrigerated for up to 1 week. So, should you eat 2 eggs tomorrow? Start with 3 facts you can actually check. Know your LDL and health history. Look at the whole plate, especially saturated fat and fiber. Decide whether the eggs are replacing a poorer option or merely being added. Then prepare them safely. If those checks point green, 2 eggs can be a reasonable part of a healthy pattern for some older adults. If they point yellow, 1 whole egg with added whites is a practical middle ground while you clarify your risk. If they point red, follow the limit your clinician set rather than a general rule. Breakfast does not need a verdict for all humanity. It needs a decision that fits your body. Keep the eggs in context, keep your labs in the conversation, and build the rest of the plate to support the life and independence you want to protect.